Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video I'd like to talk to you about the seemingly everlasting question of what is strategy. Already in the 90s, The Economist came up with this massive headline where they stated that nobody really knows what strategy is. And many years after that also, many articles posed the question, what is strategy, and tried to give an explanation to this. Even after all of these discussions, sadly nowadays, the word strategy has become a buzzword. We don't really know what it is. We are not really able to execute it in a proper and effective way. And because of that, this video is aimed to clarify what strategy is and help particularly managers, but also business students to grasp the concept better. So let's start with the definition that I often use in my class that comes from the textbook that we're using. The definition there is as follows. Strategy is a set of actions that managers take to outperform the company's competitors and achieve superior profitability. Now hold on, there are a lot of things here that need explanation. So let's cut this in pieces and let's one by one try to better understand what strategy is according to this definition. So firstly, this definition says that strategy is a set of actions. So not just one thing. It's not just one marketing campaign. It's not just one matter of financing. No, strategy is all sorts of functional areas and the actions within these functional areas coming together in a harmonious way, focused way, synergetic way, and that way trying to bring something forward, and hopefully also not just for 2 months, 3 months, but hopefully also with a good time horizon that it allows you to feed into the trends and the developments in the industry. So a set of actions, not just one action. Then, where are these set of actions going to come from, right? And in this regard, managers are very important. And, managers is plural, right? So there are multiple managers and they talk to each other, they discuss with each other, but also in correspondence with others, with employees, with consultants, sometimes with people from the public sector to get guidance, because strategy is not easy and it's very difficult for just one person to come up with the perfect strategy. It doesn't work like that. In business, oftentimes we think there are heroes that revolutionize by themselves the industry, but oftentimes it really is teamwork, even if we're talking about managers. So set of actions and managers we've talked about, but strategy oftentimes also has goals, so things that you're trying to achieve, right? In this regard, outperforming others is very important. So it's not just about performance in terms of that you're performing well, but it is measured by how you perform compared to others. And there are many ways in which you can do this. So the definition talks about superior profitability, and this is something that's often aspired, but it's by no means limited to profitability. Some companies are after maximum revenue, right? So Walmart is a company that does not have maximum profitability, but has a massive amount of revenue. Sometimes you're after market share. Sometimes you have more corporate social responsibility goals that you want to achieve at the cost of profitability and so on. So this is a decision that you have to make based on your strategy. But what your strategy is, that's going to determine what goals you're aspiring. If it is profitability, then so be it. And then your set of actions should lead you there. So if we follow this up, so important here is that this set of actions have certain characteristics, right? Because if they don't, then managers are not able to execute it, nor are they able to craft a good strategy that is going to compose this set of actions. At the same time, then these set of actions are not going to lead to the goals that you want. So the things that these set of actions have to adhere to and that they have to be characterized by, first of all, these set of actions need to be coherent, right? So they need to be synergetic, they need to feed into each other. Secondly, these set of actions need to be simple, if possible. So a good strategy is not by definition complex in terms of the strategy itself. The execution oftentimes is difficult, and the execution of strategy often is what differentiates one company from another. But it's not the strategy itself. So if you think about what Apple did in the 90s, the strategy itself was not complex. It was about downsizing, about preserving resources, and then that investing in the next big thing, which turned out to be the iPod, and after that, of course, the iPhone and the iPad and so on. But the strategy here was cut all of the nonsense, get back to the core. We're not able to compete with the bigger ones in the industry, so we need to do something different. So simplicity is very important here. Strategy also needs to be focused and needs to be coordinated, because you have a set of actions. You need to coordinate these to bring something nice to the market, and you need to be focused in terms of, your goal needs to be clear, your objectives need to be clear, and through that only you're able to really have concise action that's really going to lead to outperforming others. Finally, strategy identifies a problem, and the problem is not per se something negative. A problem means that something is out there that's not addressed. This can be a product, a service, a need, or whatever, and you, through your strategy, are trying to address this. And that's very important here. What is not strategy, or at least what is not good, effective strategy? Well, goals and objectives by themselves are not strategy. They are parts of, and they are allowing you for your strategy to become successful. Through your goals and objectives, you're realizing your strategy. But the goals and objectives themselves are not strategy. Fluffy language is also not good strategy. I mean, if you have fluffy language without sufficient content, then, what are people going to do, and how are you going to live and breathe your strategy? So strategy needs to be concise, and it needs to be clear what it is, rather than it just being fluffy, colorful language. Finally, aim is very important. Of course, through your goals and objectives, you're able to have a clear aim, have a concise, have a realizable aim. An unclear aim, of course, makes it very difficult for your strategy to be coherent and for it to be effective in trying to achieve what you want to achieve. So I already gave an example from Apple back in the 90s. Another example that I can give you is the Apple of today. It used to be a hardware company, particularly Apple's iPods, Apple's iPhones, and so on. But nowadays, it's more transitioning towards software-based services. Think of Apple TV Plus, Apple Music. So it is slightly through strategy, through the horizon, through coherent actions, trying to diversify its income stream and trying to become a different company, one that's much more based on software, one that is much more becoming a platform company where iOS is going to be the system on which all of this software is rooted. If you think about Shell, it's also having an identity struggle where it is trying to address the problem of sustainable energy through thinking about, okay, how do I need to change my products in such a way that I'm able to preserve my culture, my profitability, how I'm able to realize my financial and strategic goals, and how can I transition from being particularly oil and gas company to more of a sustainable energy company. The final example that I want to give you is Amazon. Amazon used to be an e-retail company, but it's by no means anymore e-retail. It has transitioned into becoming a technology company. Back in the days, it was just selling things through its website. Nowadays, however, if you look at it, it has a Kindle, it has Alexa, it has Amazon Web Services, so all sorts of technology-empowered things to help consumers, but also businesses to achieve their goal. It's not just selling stuff through its website or allowing others to sell stuff. No, it has devices and it has software. So if we need to bring this to a close, what's finally very important is a strategy needs to be formulated, and people within the company need to live and breathe the strategy. And this helps, of course, through vision. That is a long time horizon plan where you want to go to, right? What do I want to become? And then your mission explaining how you're actually going to do that. Then through your objectives, and your goals, through which you, in a financial and strategic manner, are trying to year after year explain where you're aiming at and where you're going at. You're trying to, of course, fulfill your mission and try to head towards your vision. Important in all of this, of course, is that you also communicate this to your employees, allow them to embody this. So this all needs to be a culture, right? So your strategy, people need to know what it is, at least in abstract terms, and they need to know that the quality they deliver, the pace they deliver, the service they deliver to consumers, and so on, all is within the lines of strategy that you set out for them. If you don't do that, that strategy just becomes something that you're drawing on a piece of paper, and it stops there. And if people don't live and breathe your strategy, then it's also not going to result in performance. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons. I wish you all the best in the world and hope to see you again in future videos. Take care.